So bad.
We'll probably just need to start again somehow. But so for the people that came back in, second part, we had some technical issues with Wi-Fi and whatever. But
I don't know what happened.
we were talking about something that we've totally forgot we were speaking about. I remember the flippy stuff, and then nothing after that at all, man. I
don't have a clue, but I've just been winging it the whole time, so I'm hoping you can lead me in the right direction.
That's what I do, man, as well. So you don't need to worry about it. I just wing it. I just hopefully the question goes to the next question, or like conversation flows. If no, then it's that awkward bit when you're like, oh, what did I do? I forgot the questions. But so we'll get into some more fun stuff. Right. Who's your favourite wrestler of all time? We'll just go for there since we'll figure out what we're talking about.
That's a big question of all time. So yeah, when I was younger, I loved Jeff Hardy. CM Punk made him quit WWE, and I hated him for a long, long time. But then I realised I quite liked him actually. So I love CM Punk. Edge, brilliant. I'm trying to think of the ultimate, the one. I would probably say CM Punk, because I took a wee phase where I didn't like wrestling for a bit. Like my mum was like, grow up, and I was like, okay. And then I got back into it, and it was because CM Punk was going through his whole pipe bomb run and all that. And yeah, no, I thought he was just you were hooked in every word he said. So I'd say Punk guy.
And that's what I kind of missed, that pipe bomb bit, because no long before that is when I broke my neck, and so I was like, I couldn't wrestle anymore, and I took like my ball and just went home. I was like, it doesn't want me, so I'm not going to watch anything that it does. And then it was after that I got back into it. I caught up in all the pipe bomb stuff, and I was like, I love this, and I've just been watching it ever since. But for me, it would have to be Sting, because I remember seeing him on the TV when I was a wee boy and just being like, that's my guy. Just ever since then, I followed them all the time. But a funny story about Jeff Hardy is I went to go to a signing one time. So I was at this show, and I went to go to a signing. The guys were on it and stuff like that. I was like, right, it was meant to be Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. So I turned up, but Jeff Hardy wasn't there. It was just Matt Hardy. And I remember being so gutted. So I was with my mum. I must have been like 10 or something like that. I was really young, and I was like it's not, Jeff Hardy's not here. Like, so I've got like a signed Matt Hardy thing, and like a folder. I've got a bunch of guys that have signed stuff, and I'm just like, this. I just remember being so ungrateful. Like, and then now I'm like, I literally got to meet Matt Hardy. I remember him saying like, "Are you not going to smile or something?" And I was just pure like, no. Was here to see Jeff Hardy. Why the Jeff Hardy signature? Like, now I'm like, why was I such an ungrateful child? Like, it was still a good wrestler, but.
I got to meet Matt Hardy when he was doing the Broken stuff. He came to BCW. I think I was on the same show as him. I might be wrong. It was a BCW did a pre-show as I come on at Grand Hall. I believe I was on that one. If I wasn't, I might just be lying. But I've been on a couple of them. But yeah, no, I met him backstage, and he was just like, it was cool. He was cool again, so it was quite cool to meet him. Still never met Jeff Hardy, sadly. So. Yeah, no, that's good.
I'm just like, I'm such an ungrateful child. Another one for that is John Cena was at HMV for his CD coming out with his music and stuff like that. He was doing like signings, and I remember I was going there, and I was one of those like, as just a kid, and I was like, I had my guys. Like, John Cena wasn't one of the guys. It was no long after he won the belt, changed it to like the spinner stuff and that. And I remember being like, no, I'm there for those DVDs, and I'm just walking over. Because I just was totally oblivious to who this guy was. Like, I knew who he was, and I was just like, but I'm here for my TNA DVDs. I want to get them. And I remember him just like staring at me, because he was like asking people, "Are you here to get?" And I was like, "No, I'm here to get those DVDs." And he was just pure. Walks there, picks up some, gave me them, and then I went and paid for them. And like, I just remember, the guy must have been like, he's such a cunt. Why did he do that? Like, I was just like, I'm here for those DVDs. I'm not here to talk to you. Come on, I need to get back home, get my dinner and stuff like that. I've got stuff to do. But it was such a, like, when you're a kid as well, you're like, how did you have the balls to do that? Like, now if I met John Cena, I would just be pure like, what do I say to you? But the other question we always like to ask people to come on this show is a big one, because I know we'll probably have a discussion on this, because every question will went in tangents. This is one that I love. I never send this to you. I don't send this to anybody. So I give you my example after the question. So the question is, if you could replace or add yourself to any match in history, any event, what would it be? So I've done this for 24 shows, however many it's been, and everybody always goes, you know exactly what your match is. Well, I've literally got it set as part of my doing the podcast. I need to know this. Mine would be I would replace Owen Hart against Bret Hart, SummerSlam 94 in that blue steel cage, because that's one of my favourite matches of all time. What would yours be? What would you add yourself to? What would you replace? Would you be a referee? What would you do?
Do you know what? I've not had time to think about this. The first thing that came to my head, because I'm a horrible, evil bastard, is I would replace Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 38, and I'd break the streak and just be absolutely solid on my own and ruin all your. I'd zoom into the wee shocked guy, and he'd be raging at me, and you'd all be raging at me, and it's exactly what I like. I like being a bad guy, so that's what I would choose.
And that's one of the best ones that we've had, is like people being like, oh, I would do this because it's like me being like the bad person. Normally people are like, oh, I would do like me, I'm like, oh, I would go for like my best match ever. But if you think about it, you would probably go try and beat the streak because you would have like something to be like, look what I done, even though it's been
because I'm a horrible guy. That's the first thing that came into my head, and I was like, do you know what, we're sticking with it. We're sticking with that.
No, I always like to keep that one just like as a just to ask randomly, because it is like one of those ones that's just the first thing that comes to your head, and it could be like a random match from Raw and stuff like that, which a lot of people have done. A lot of people have been like, oh, it would be against John Cena at Mania for money and stuff like that. So it's like a cool one, man. I like it, but I'm not sure how the way up would be between yourself and Undertaker. Like, I think it would be...
No, definitely. I'm definitely not built like Brock Lesnar, but I think it'd be fine.
And something that I remembered from what you were saying in the first part, this is the second part, is like you were like smaller when you first started training. So I was quite similar. I was like really like slim and stuff like that, and it wasn't like I wasn't trying to eat like I was eat like a horse. But when I started getting a little bit bigger, so I started training a little bit more weights and stuff like that, doing a Hulk Hogan, eating vitamins and stuff like that, and I got a little bit bigger. And then I lost all that when I left wrestling, so I went really skinny again, and I felt terrible. And recently, because of the lockdown, I've been like training just all day. I've not got anything to do, like just watch my kids and do nothing. So I've just been training all day. I've got myself up to like 205 pounds, and I'm like, what's that, like 14 stone or something? And I'm just like, I feel pretty fat now, and I'm like, so I can never win. Like that time when I was younger, I was like, I wanted to get bigger, and then now I get bigger, and I'm like, I feel pretty fat. Like I feel like my jeans don't fit me. Then when I get jeans that fit me, they don't. Like the legs don't fit because my thighs have got too big, and it's such an issue. So the point of my thing is, do you think you're ever going to get like into poor like jack shape, or are you happy like where you are?
I'll be honest. I don't really say this often, but like I'm not happy with where I am. I want to be looking better, but I believe that you've got to do the best with the tools you've got. So until I get to that stage where I'm bigger or muscular or wherever I'm going, I've got to make the best. I've got to make wrestling look real from every match I'm in. I've got to make it look like, yeah. So if I square up with you say you're 205 pounds, right? I don't know what I weigh, to be honest with you, but I probably, if we stood face to face with each other, I probably don't look like I could hook you and drop you. So I try and chop out your leg because I'm a horrible wee guy, or I'm in your eyes, or I'm just annoying you, I'm just choking you, and I'm stomped in your thumb because that's annoying as well. Like that's the type of, and I've went a tangent again. That's the type of thing I like. I'd like to get muscler would be the answer to the question, but I do the best with what I've got.
No, man, I've been watching quite a lot of your stuff setting up for the podcast, and I think it's so cool the way you work, because obviously you've got like bigger guys. I was watching your ICW one. I'm not going to lie, I thought it was going to be a little bit longer because I sat down and I was like, all right, it'll be a cool little match. I watched this little ICW segment because I watched it after the ICW Bard things. I totally forgot that you was on the laptop. I was like, I'll just go check it out. I went on and I was like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever long was it? I was like, oh damn, I thought it was going to be longer, so I had to go like find some other stuff to like try and fill that time. So I set quite a bit of time aside just to watch your stuff. It sounds a bit weird saying watch your stuff, watch your wrestling. But I think it's really cool. I like the way you move in the ring. It's just different. It's that kind of like small kind of. I know it's a lot of people do it, but I really like the way it works. It works with the kind of stuff that's happening in wrestling just now. You try and avoid those flips and stuff, and you just kind of be the little like wee guy just annoying somebody, which is such a cool aspect, cool character to take.
I was always told like I don't watch Gotham, right? So I've never understood this reference. So if you do watch Gotham, if you watch Gotham, or if anyone out there watches Gotham, you might look at this and go, "Oh hi!" I was always told I look like Penguin out of Gotham when I wrestle because I'm just a wee. Apparently, he's just a wee sneaky weasel type guy, and I was like, I've always just been like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, they're always like, yeah, that's not an insult. Penguin's cool, and I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it. That's all right. Yeah. So that's kind of like, yeah, that's one of the things I'm prouder of in what I've done in wrestling. That I've never been like, I never. There's some guys. If you look in my class, if you want to call it, of my age group, you've got guys like Ray Barani who can do all sorts of flips. You've got guys like Alex Parker, who can do mental strikes and can do a couple of flips himself. Daz Black, who is just... we don't talk about Daz. We don't like Daz, honestly, because he can do stuff that I don't want to talk about it. And instead of looking at it and going, oh shit, I've got to be like him. I've got to be able to do a flip. I've got to be able to do a 450. I thought, let's just go down a different route. Let's work with the tools you've got, and yeah, this is what I came up with, and I'm quite proud of it. So thank you for enjoying my stuff, and hopefully the people out there also enjoy my stuff.
Honestly, I get if I'm talking to another Scottish person when I say I've been watching your stuff. Like I get you know that I'm going to say like it's wrestling. You understand that, but I had an American guy on and he was like, "What stuff?" And I was like, "Your wrestling matches." And he's like, "Oh, you need to say that." And I was like, What else have you got online? And he was like, "Oh, I've got baseball stuff." And my mind's in the gutter, so you say like what stuff, and I'm like, "What you got online?" But no, I really think it's such a cool kind of character. It's quite refreshing as well, in the kind of Scottish scene at the minute, because it's a lot of big guys, it's a lot of smaller guys, not doing flips and stuff like that, kind of the technical, hardcore kind of stuff, and then just you being like this wee guy coming in, just like trying to get a win, just annoying people. But
Yeah.
I was thoroughly disappointed with your ICW match, man. It was really cool. I'm no, it was just like 3 minutes, and I was pure. It was like 30 minutes I'd set aside for that day to watch your watch your wrestling, and I was like, oh, it's 3 minutes long. But
well,
so
for me,
do you think you're going to be in ICW a little bit more? Or are you happy just to? But obviously you want to get there, be there more often. Do you think you're going to just still do like the holiday camps and stuff after COVID is gone away?
Well, I've not been back to ICW. I did some cool extra work for them at one point, and I've done that as my debut. I don't know the answer to your question, because I hope, but I don't know. I work towards it. I'll keep working, and what I was going to say, sorry, I've almost interrupted you there mid question, but what I was going to say is that, like we were talking about earlier, it's, you've got to work and work and work to get your foot in the door in some places, and sometimes, Dallas says you've got 3 minutes and you're getting beat by this guy. You're not going to go, I don't want to do that. I'm what to go 20 minutes now. What to win the belt? Do you know what I mean? That's not how it works. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've done that. Nobody can ever take that away from me. You know what I mean? That's where I look at it. I can always say I've done it. I can always say I've worked for the biggest company in Scotland, and nobody can. From where I started, I'm quite proud of that. For the future in ICW, I was trying to add more to this because I don't know. But hopefully, natural progression. You get bigger, you become more of a deal. You get more followers, you get more people that like you. You make your way into ICW, and then hopefully you get into these matches where you're on these Shug's House Party and Square Go and all sorts, Fear and Loathing. It's a goal. It's a goal for the future.
No man, when I was saying about the 3 minute stuff, it was more like it was annoying for me. Like I've set aside like 30 minutes and it was just 3 minutes. I thought it was going to be maybe like a 5, 6, 7 minute match, and it was like 3, and I was put. Well, what did I do now? Like, I've got dinner set out, notes ready and stuff like that, which I always forget as I have. But I think it is such a kind of refreshing kind of scene to be in, and wrestling at the minute. Like it seems if it's cool in Scotland, even if it's not that cool anywhere else in the world at the minute, which is weird to see. Also, Scotland just does stuff a lot different. If anybody out there hasn't been to Scotland or something, it's like a totally own little planet compared to the rest of the world. We do stuff totally different, and it's the way it's always kind of been. But I like what you're saying, with like just work hard. That's literally what everybody should aspire to do. Like you should just kind of put the time in, no matter what you want to do. If it's a job or be self-employed, wrestle, go to the gym, you just need to put the time in. Eventually it'll come. But I'm really looking forward to getting back to shows when COVID's away. I'll come down and see. Let me know what matches you're on and stuff. I'll come see them and stuff like that. I'll bring my kids if it's family friendly. No, like if you're going to start shouting at them and stuff like that. But so we normally finish up on the kind of SummerSlam question. I can't remember when I asked that, if it was this one or the one before, but I'll ask to finish up. What was your favourite event of all time? What's an event that stands out in your mind that's like, this is my favourite event of all time?
I'm really boring because I've already said this. I'm matching this for one of your questions, but WrestleMania 30. I just think it's the best WrestleMania of all time. I think the Daniel Bryan story was the best built thing that could have been. Everybody in the world, even if you hated him, wanted to see him win the belt that day, and I just thought that was the they call it the ultimate underdog story, did they not, or something like that? I don't know, but I just thought that's how you tell a story. That is absolutely how you tell a story. I know it's long term, but that is how you tell a story, and I thought it was brilliant. And obviously you've got the shock of the sorry spoilers if anyone, but if you've not watched it by now, I'm not taking the hit. Undertaker's streak, that's a moment that will long past when I'm dead. Wrestling, that'll be one of the biggest moments, and I think that's gonna stand the test of time, to be honest.
Man, I think that kind of Undertaker his streak ending is gonna be there forever. Everybody's going to just remember how they felt that day. It was like a really important moment in wrestling. It was like,
I thought they messed it up. I was like, the bell rang and I was like, that wasn't meant to happen. I know that wasn't meant to happen. It couldn't have been.
I think it was such a cool moment as well because everybody bought into it. Like everybody was like, surely that's fake. They're going to need to recall it. They can't take it off Undertaker at that time. He needs to give it to somebody else. And Twitter was shouting at everybody and stuff, which I think is so cool. But man, where can people find you? I've got your links in the description below. Obviously, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like, just let people know where they can find you, when you're hoping to be back out next at shows, stuff like that.
Yes, I'm not very talkative now because I don't have any wrestling to talk about. But you can find me on Facebook, Danny Edwards, Instagram, Danny Edwards UK. No, it's not UK, it's PW, I believe. Twitter's the same, and I have a YouTube channel. I believe that's still Danny Edwards PW or PBW. Can't remember, but if you look up Danny Edwards and you put wrestling, I think I come up. I've only got a couple of matches on there, but it's matches I'm proud of. So if you want to check out some wrestling and you're really bored and you want to fit some time in for me, then that's brilliant. Thank you.
Man, so what I'll do is I'll end the podcast here and I'll talk to you about when it's going to go up and stuff like that after we're finished.
No worries.